Alright, hey guys. Today I thought that we would get back to the roots a little bit and talk about some classic novels. I used to do like a lot of book reviews and rants, well, talks, let's just say, on this channel, and I just thought I'd get back to it. I've read a fair share of classics for, for like school or I don't know, just on my own time to explore that from many different perspectives, I guess, like different foreign authors or um, like stories from different countries, all that good stuff. But today I have a compilation of uh, my top favorite classic novels that I have read. And most of them are American classics just because, I don't know, it was easily available at the time and that's what we had to read for school, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna go over the books and kind of talk about why I like each one. Okay, so first on the pile, I'm gonna go through the tangible books first. First on the pile, we have Dandelion Wine, but it kind of looked like Bradbury was the title, so I was like, we have Bradbury by Dandelion Wine. It's Dandelion Wine by Ray Bradbury, and I actually recently read this for the first time about a month ago. I was gifted this for my birthday. It's about a summer in a little boy's life. He's like 12 years old, living in the Midwest in the early 1900s. And it just about covers one summer of this little boy's life, but there's a lot that is happening in this book. It's kind of made up of little short stories, I guess, but it does just revolve around the town that this little boy is living in. I just really like Ray Bradbury's style of writing. I think it's very nostalgic and in the introduction it said that it's very closely related to his own summer that he's had as a child, and you can just feel it very viscerally. And I really related to this one a lot because I grew up going to the Midwest for my own summer vacations, and even though it wasn't like the 1900s, he just kind of perfectly encapsulates that feeling, and it brought me back to childhood summers and all that good stuff. And I feel like reading this during the summer was just the icing on the cake. It was really good, and I like it for that reason. So next I have a physical copy, and then I have one on my list I want to talk about for Miss Toni Morrison here. I have a physical copy of Beloved, which is my favorite top 3 books just of all time. But yes, we have Beloved by Toni Morrison, and then I also wanted to put The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I don't have the physical copy of that, but that is another one of my top favorite classics. So this one I had to read for school a long time ago. Actually, not that long ago. It was for a college class where we read the book, watched the movie, compared the two. And it was funny, at the end of the class, the teacher took this book away from the list. We were like the last class to read this book because they thought it was too dark or too weird. And it very much is, but it turned out to be one of my favorite books in the class, and one that I just really, really love. I mean, the content in here I don't enjoy reading because it is very disturbing and dark, but there's just something so haunting about it. This book is about a lady who lives in a house with her daughter, and the house is haunted. There's a ghost in there. it goes kind of back and forth between the present and when she was living as a slave, and they all kind of, it kind of like the two narratives kind of intermingle together because you're wondering, why is the house haunted? What's going on? It's just very deep. The language is very rich. Same with The Bluest Eye as well. I feel like The Bluest Eye, it's kind of the same as Beloved, very dark, very, Toni Morrison just has this way of getting to the heart of things and getting to the root of things, and in The Bluest Eye, I feel like that was very, very much the message of it, because basically in The Bluest Eye, she brings up how hate is brought about from childhood, and how it just develops over time into something worse, something that affects the community, and just, it was very eye-opening to me, reading The Bluest Eye. Yeah, Toni Morrison uses that darkness to awaken you, I guess. Up next, we have East of Eden. It's a chonker, by John Steinbeck. It kind of follows this family, these two brothers, through California, I believe, but kind of underdeveloped California, like back in the 1800s, I think. And they do kind of like a Bible retelling, because the names of the sons are related to Cain and Abel, so it kind of goes in that direction. But I think what really stood out to me was one of the characters, I think her name was Kathy? Yeah, it was Kathy. That character really stood out to me because she is considered, I guess, the villain in all this, but I really found it intriguing the way that he wrote her character, just her backstory and everything, because she's a wild lady. She's wild, and she just, wherever she goes, there's chaos around her, and I just found it very tense to read, very visceral experience. And also, I really enjoy the dialogue in that book as well. I just think it's very, I don't know, it's got good movement, good dialogue. So yeah, East of Eden. I also have a huge John Steinbeck collection book. I want to read Grapes of Wrath next. Alright, up next we have Jane Eyre. This is like a copy I borrowed from my friend. But I actually kind of stole it. But I'm glad I did. Actually, I think it was my first, like, classic British Gothic novel. And I thought I wasn't going to enjoy it because I thought it was going to be boring. But I really enjoyed the language and the descriptions of just everything. Like, the language is so rich, and it really inspires me. When I read classic kind of British Gothic books like this, I just get really inspired to write, because there's so many words that are like, oh, what is that? Oh, it sounds so fancy. Oh. But I was more in this for the language. It just really sucked me in. And I would say the same about, I'm reading Bleak House right now. I would say the same about Bleak House. Like, the story, I'm not following it right now, but I'm still hooked on the language and the way that they describe things and all the little new inspiring words. So, yeah. Oh, and one on my list that I don't have, I used to have it, but is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and she was a sister of Charlotte Bronte, and that one is also really good. That one I was definitely in for the story. It was very intense, very, like, I've never read anything like that before, that crazy. I love a good surprise. And with Wuthering Heights, it was definitely a surprise because I wasn't expecting all the drama, all the fever. Is that how you say it? Like, just, it was very tense and anticipatory. The plot was a romance, but it was kind of like a doomed romance thing where I think this lady's like living in a house or something, and then she falls for a madman, and they both kind of turn mad in their own relationship dynamic going on. I really like it. I don't know. There's a lot of drama and it's very spicy. Next is the first classic, probably a lot of people's first classics, or first classic book that they've read as well. And it's really cliche, but Catcher in the Rye. I read this book when I was 15, 16. It struck me. The first time I read it, it struck a chord very, very hard for me. Because it follows this loner boy, college boy, and he just thinks everyone around him is fake, phony. He just kind of goes around the city just like kicking dirt, kicking rocks on the side of the road, putting his head down, and just like generally being a hater. Not that it's a spoiler, but at the end he does find, like, he sees the beauty of innocence again and kind of awakens from his slumber, one could say. And the ending struck me, but also when he kept mentioning that everyone was phony and fake, and I felt like I was being talked to, like we were having a conversation, me and Holden Caulfield. I just agreed with it. I was like, yeah, you know, people really are fake. But now when I look back on it, that is such a teenager mindset to have, but it felt very personal to me. I relate more now to how he evolved and kind of grew up. So I'm definitely going to have to reread that one because I want to look back and see what I saw in his mindset and see if it will strike again. Okay, so the next book I don't have, but I do want, is Things Fall Apart. Okay, so it follows a tribe in Nigeria, I think, somewhere in that area, an ancient tribe that you kind of see all their customs and everything. They, I think they talk to like spirits or deities, and they find a lot of power and strength in that. And at the beginning, it really builds them up to be this like this powerful tribe, and they are. And then all of a sudden, there's like colonization and stuff like that. And basically, the novel is about that, how the colonizers basically took away the culture. And that was like the first book that I've ever read that was like that. It was very, very eye-opening to me. And so it's about the rise and fall of this tribe and their ancient traditions. And yeah, it just made me really aware of that for a time, and I was kind of spiraling about it. I was also really entranced by the way they would interact with deities, because I remember that being a big part of the book. They would interact with these ancient deities and like just their relationship with it and how they would work the spirits into their daily life, so to say. Alright, next. I do have the physical copies of these books, and that would be the Lord of the Rings series. I have all three. Now, I only read Lord of the Rings because I grew up watching the movies, and I figured it was time to... I just had to do it right by reading the books. And I feel like I gained a deeper perspective on the movies that you can't get that with just watching the movies. You can't get the whole thing, you know? And what I really admire about this series is that it's all world building. Like, where does this guy J.R.R. Tolkien, where does he get all this? Like, that's what struck me about this book, is that I was like, this is a whole thing. Because, you know, if you've read the books, there's different languages that he made up. There is songs and just the characters too, the lands, the maps. It's so deep, and it's like, where does this guy come up with this stuff, you know? I very much respect and admire the level of work that must have taken to create your own world like that and have a language that you can learn on Duolingo. Like, that's crazy. Also, I really liked reading about the characters, like Sam and Frodo especially. It's different in the book. It's a lot more deep, and it makes a lot more sense in the book, because Sam and Frodo in the book, Frodo's like a mentor, an older figure, like older brother type thing to Sam, and Sam is like his loyal servant. In the movies, it kind of looks like they're like just best friends or something, but in the book, that's how it is. And I like the book version a little bit better, just because it makes more sense to me. That's why Sam was so like loyal to Frodo, you know? So yeah, those were my favorite classic books. I definitely want to read more. I have a lot on my list at the present moment. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. It was really good to chat and get back to the roots, and I hope to do more book rants, book talks. That's why I don't like saying book talk, because it sounds too much like book talk, like TikTok. Book, we can say book conversations, book discussions. So yeah, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!